Hello. While based in Redruth, erecting and maintaining steam engines engaged in pumping water from the Cornish tin and copper mines for the firm of Bolton and Watt, William Murdoch built Britain's first working model of a steam carriage or road locomotive in 1781. A colleague reported his experiments in a letter to James Watt, who initially thought the idea a distraction and not worth pursuing. Murdoch persevered, and in 1784 demonstrated a three-wheeled working model about 12 inches high, now in Think Tank, Birmingham Science Museum, before witnesses at his home, and a year or so later gave a public demonstration at the King's Head Inn in Truro. Cornish-born Richard Trevithick came from a mining family and had grown up watching steam engines at work, pumping water in the local mines, before starting work training as a mining engineer. For 2 years in the late 1790s, he lived next door to William Murdoch in Redruth, where he would undoubtedly have been familiar with Murdoch's experimental work with steam locomotion. He began his own experiments with high-pressure steam, at first with stationary engines and then with engines attached to carriages, using a double-acting cylinder with a four-way control valve. Rather than using a condenser, exhaust steam was vented through a funnel. At Camborne on Christmas Eve 1801, Trevithick demonstrated a full-sized steam-powered road locomotive he named Puffing Devil, carrying several passengers along Fore Street and Camborne Hill to the nearby village of Beacon, a distance of around 3/4 of a mile. 3 days later, giving another demonstration, the carriage hit a pothole and broke down. Everyone adjourned to the pub, and while they were gone, the water boiled off, the engine overheated, and Puffing Devil was destroyed. A working replica is owned by the Trevithick Society and takes part in annual Trevithick Day celebrations in Camborne, where a statue of the man himself stands outside the local library. After patenting his high-pressure steam engine in 1802, Trevithick built a stationary engine for the Coalbrookdale Iron Company. A drawing of a rail locomotive in London's Science Museum is thought to be of a model built at Coalbrookdale, but there's no hard evidence. Making constant incremental improvements to his engine design, Trevithick built what he described as the London steam carriage, and in 1803 took passengers on a 10-mile journey through the streets of London, from Holborn to Paddington and back via Islington. The inherent danger of high-pressure steam had made James Watt cautious of experiments. Inevitably there were setbacks, but these were also learning opportunities leading to advances. One of Trevithick's stationary pumping engines exploded in 1804, causing 4 fatalities. As a result, dual safety valves were introduced, one automatic and a second operator-controlled. After Trevithick converted one of his stationary high-pressure engines into a locomotive at the Penny Darren Ironworks at Merthyr Tydfil, the owner, Samuel Humphrey, bet his neighbour Richard Crawshay of Cyfarthur Ironworks 500 guineas that a Trevithick locomotive could haul loaded carriages for 10 miles along the Merthyr tramway. He won his bet, the journey being completed in February 1804 in a little over 4 hours, at an average speed of 2.4 miles per hour. A working replica of the locomotive can be seen at the National Waterfront Museum in Swansea, and a memorial was later erected in Merthyr Tydfil. The Merthyr experiment attracted widespread interest, including from collieries in the northeast of England, where Trevithick built and demonstrated another experimental locomotive. In 1808, Trevithick had a new design for a steam locomotive with a vertical cylinder built for him called Catch Me Who Can, to run on a circular track in London's Bloomsbury area. Customers were charged 1 shilling to enter the Steam Circus, as it was known, to view and ride the train. It didn't prove as popular as Trevithick expected, and although he continued to work on engineering projects, including steam tugboats, he gave up on locomotives. It would be left to other pioneers to take forward their development. After paying a royalty to use Trevithick's engine design, Matthew Murray, a supplier of machinery to the textile industry, made improvements, developing a two-cylinder high-pressure system used in building Salamanca in 1812 for the Brandling family's Middleton colliery near Leeds in West Yorkshire, the first commercially viable steam locomotive. The manager at Brandling's, John Blenkinsop, patented a toothed wheel and rack system to enable the locomotive to haul heavy loads without breaking the cast iron rails of the track. Murray supplied 3 more locomotives for Middleton colliery, one of which, originally named after the Duke of Wellington, but later known as Willington, and which ran on flanged wheels, was transferred to a colliery on Tyneside. A young George Stephenson would have seen this locomotive in action, and Northumberland-born Stephenson and his son Robert will be my subject next time. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.